Good morning students, welcome to the next video of grammar. In the earlier video, I have told you about analysis of simple sentences. In this video, I will tell you about analysis of complex sentence. So see, first of all, what this crab is saying. Complex sentences contain a main clause and one or more subordinate clauses. This is the statement given by this crab. Now we will see one line, one statement which is about this crab. Due to his sharp claws, Kevin, the name of the crab is Kevin. So due to his sharp claws, Kevin hurt himself with picking his nose. Now this is a sentence, this is a statement about crab. Now see the rectangular box. Due to his sharp claws, one part, and with picking his nose, second part, are both subordinate clauses. Means these two are subordinate clauses. They need Kevin hurt himself, the main clause, to make sense. Means in this sentence, Kevin hurt himself is the main clause. And as the definition was given by the crab that complex sentences contain a main clause and one or more subordinate clauses, in this statement we got one main clause and two subordinate clauses. Let's see. Now the definition of complex sentence. The proper definition. A complex sentence is a sentence with an independent clause and at least one dependent clause. So here independent clause means main clause. That was the definition in the earlier slide. And dependent clause means subordinate clause. Here it is written at least one dependent clause, means it can be more than one, but we need at least one. The dependent clause is introduced by either a subordinate conjunction such as although, while, or because, or a relative pronoun such as who or which. So whenever we will connect any subordinate clause with main clause, then we need either subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun to connect both the sentences. Now what is the definition of complex sentence? Complex sentence is a sentence in which there will be one main clause and at least one subordinate clause, and these two clauses are joined using either subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun. Now see, as we know, three types of sentences are there. So three examples are given. Like see, first one, simple sentence. My friend invited me to a party. This is a normal sentence. As we discussed in earlier video, my friend, that is subject, invited, that is verb, me, that is object, to a party, where, that is adverbial. So here my friend is subject, invited me to a party is predicate. Next sentence, I do not want to go. My friend is subject, invited me to a party, that is predicate. Now I do not want to go. I is the subject and do not want to go is predicate. Here do not want, that is forming the verb, and to go, that is also part of verb. Okay, so I do not want to go. These two are simple sentences, but when these two sentences are joined, they will form compound and complex sentence. Like see, compound sentence, my friend invited me to a party but I do not want to go. This is compound. This we will discuss in next video. What is compound sentence? Let's focus on simple and complex. Simple we have discussed, that you can easily understand. Complex, although my friend invited me to a party, I do not want to go. Here you can see this sentence is one sentence, but here the words are written in three colors. As you can see, blue, green and red. Now see, blue, although is blue. So what is although? It is subordinate conjunction, or if there would be any other word like this, then it would be relative pronoun. My friend invited me to a party. This is green color, so it is dependent clause, means subordinate clause. And I do not want to go, this is red color, so this is main clause. Okay, again see, this is subordinating conjunction. This is subordinate clause, and this is main clause, as you can see the colors here. Okay, so whenever we will form any complex sentence, we need one main clause, at least one subordinate clause, and one subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun. Now see, a complex sentence is very different from a simple sentence or a compound sentence because it makes clear which ideas are more important. So all three are different that we already saw in the previous slide. All three examples means all three sentences were formed using same example, but the sentence pattern changed. But how they are different? Because in complex sentence it denotes that which idea is more important, means which part of sentence is more important, and which one is more important, that is what main clause. Now see some examples. Although Tom reads novel, Jack reads comics. So although is joining these sentences. It is in it is written in blue color. It is what? Subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun. Okay, so although is subordinating conjunction. Tom reads novel. It is in green color. It is subordinate clause. And Jack reads comic. It is written in red color, so it is main clause. Okay, now although Tom reads novel, Jack reads comics. So Jack reads comics, that is independent, that doesn't need anyone to clear its meaning. But although Tom reads novels, this is incomplete sentence, that's why it is called subordinate clause. When he was younger, Mike had many dogs. Again, when is what? Relative pronoun. He was younger, subordinating conjunction. Mike had many dogs, that is main clause. Sorry, he was younger, subordinate clause, and Mike had many dogs, main clause. Now third sentence. Many people enjoyed the movie. This is complete sentence, that's why it is main clause. However, it is joining, so it is subordinating conjunction. William did not what? It is incomplete, so it is subordinate clause. Now, as we discussed some examples, definition of complex sentence, so this is a review like what we got in complex sentence. Phrase, a group of words that are not complete thoughts and cannot stand alone. It is missing either a subject or a verb. It can happen that in a complex sentence there would be a phrase also. Clause we know, subordinate clause and main clause are two parts of clause. And what is clause? A group of words with a subject and verb. Clauses can be either independent or dependent. Independent means main clause, dependent means subordinate clause. Sentence, a group of words with a subject and a verb, that is a complete thought. So all the examples that we saw that were sentences only. Now, as I said that when we connect any subordinate clause with main clause, we need what? Subordinating conjunction or relative pronoun. So here some words are given which come under subordinating conjunction and relative pronoun, like subordinating conjunction to denote time, after, before, when, to denote cause and effect, because, since, for a position, although, though, even though, for condition, if, only if, whether, unless, and some relative pronouns, who, whom, which, whoever, whomever, whichever, that. This is a list. You can note down this list for further uses. So these are the conjunction and pronouns which are used for joining any subordinate clause with main clause. Now, if you remember, when I was teaching you clause, I told you that whenever you will join any main clause and subordinate clause, you need to follow a pattern. Same pattern is given here. See, if you will put main clause at first position and subordinate at the second position, you don't need any punctuation. Here you can see nothing is there, so don't need any punctuation. Like Nikki shook her head and sighed as she puzzled over the algebra program. So Nikki shook her head and sighed, that is main clause. She puzzled over the algebra program, this is subordinate clause, which is beginning with as, which is subordinating conjunction. But what was second rule? That if you put subordinate clause at the first position and main clause at the second position, then you need to separate both the clauses using comma. Like when the doorbell rang, comma, Nikki slammed shut her textbook and rose to pay for her pizza. Now when the doorbell rang, when is relative pronoun, when the doorbell rang, this is subordinate clause, and then comma, and then further part is main clause. Nikki slammed shut her textbook and rose to pay for her pizza. So I hope you have remembered this thing when I taught you clause. Now let's see some examples. Although Tom reads novel, Jack reads comics. Just recall the examples. When he was younger, Tom had many comics. Many people enjoy reading, however Jack does not. So this much was in complex sentence, means these are the parts of complex sentence. What are the parts? Main clause and subordinate clause, and both are joined using either relative pronoun or subordinating conjunction. That's all for today, students. In the next video we will discuss about the analysis of compound sentences. So thank you.